Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode. And that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say. Nigeria, a nation of over 200 million people, faces numerous challenges that affect the daily lives of its citizens, from infrastructure and economic development to education and healthcare. The country's growth and progress are hindered by various obstacles. Tonight, I want us to confront some of the toughest challenges and explore some solutions for a brighter future. By sharing our thoughts and ideas, we can create a national movement for positive change. It's another beautiful episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. And my name remains Osayuame Sale. And tonight, we're discussing the hashtag, the 30-day challenge, right? Or the 30-day rant challenge. And we're spotlighting Nigeria's pain point. Now, remember, Ways is all about you. You are the why in Ways. So be a part of the conversation every single day. You can also head onto our YouTube channel right now. It's at Official Upgrade TV. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. When we open the phone lines, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. But let me allow you ponder on my quote for today. It says, if we decide to start calling the Nigerian government out, don't you think a lot of changes would be made? If we decide that we want to run a 30-day challenge where we complain about the economy, do you guys know that people would start looking into it and they will start making changes? And this was a quote by the person that invented the 30-day challenge, Rita O'Shea. All right, so yes, remember, Ways is about you. You can also join us. Just send us and add me to WhatsApp. We'll join your live video to the show. Okay, so yeah, we'll delve into the 30-day challenge and, of course, highlighting Nigeria's pain point. But that will be much later when I come back from the break, to just let you in on my news interest for the day. Stay with me. Okay, thanks for staying with us. Okay, so Annie Macaulay makes social media appearance, or I didn't see her face, but she came back on social media for the first time after a very long time of, what's it called now? Being quiet, with all the drama around her divorce. And she wrote this note. But again, she has signed off as her name, Annie Macaulay, I think, yeah? Owana Macaulay, yes. Annie Owana Macaulay, that's what she signed off of. She was just appreciating everyone that came around to support her. The only thing I want to point out here is that your handle is still Annie Dibia1. So maybe you might need to look into that if you truly want to just completely remove yourself from that conversation. But you see, when it comes to issues around divorce, I personally don't think you need to be enemies with the person you're divorcing, right? All this name change and all of that, I really would not be bothered to do it. You know why? Because I have built a brand as well with that name. So if you are, what's it called, especially if you have an understanding partner, I don't think name is going to be any issue. But when people come out to make statements like this and then sign off with their maiden name, they are trying to pass a statement. So I would also tell her that it would be nice if she also is able to change the handle itself, because the handle still reads Annie Idibia. Yeah, so that is that for that. So I'll move on to Rino Omokre. Rino Omokre came on social media. I don't even know. Let me read part of the report that I saw in Punch. It says, Obi was my project. Omokri vows to dismantle obedient movement. So he was speaking on a show where he displeased claim that his opposition to Obi and his supporters stems from a personal vendetta. Instead, he described his role in Obi's political rise and how his disillusionment led him to take a hard stance. I took a vow to destroy that movement because Peter Obi was my project and was a project of mine. He also recalled his effort. He says, according to him, alongside Senator Ben Mori-Bruce and the former president, he played a key role in securing Obi's position as Atiku's running mate in 2019 presidential election. I was responsible for Peter Obi becoming the running mate to Waziri Atiku Abubakar in 2019. I've said this publicly. I've got the documents. I am a meticulous record keeper, he claimed. He said, while Obi's abrupt exit from the People's Democratic Party without consulting his backers caused some friction, Omokri said that the real turning point was the conduct of Obi's supporters. Peter Obi's movement, Obedience, started attacking me, threatening me, insulting me, and that was okay. But then they moved from myself to my family. I just had a daughter at the time, and there were multiple death threats, he alleged, revealing that the harassment escalated into real-life encounters. They came to my house in the United Kingdom. They trailed my wife and me when we were jogging. They found out my jogging route and pursued me, threatening me, he further alleged. Omokri said he reached out to Obi, expecting him to intervene. However, he claimed that the former Labour Party presidential candidate refused to denounce a particular individual that was linked to the threat. So I don't know what to say about this, but I'll just leave it at that. I think when it comes to politics in Nigeria, it is not only unique to Peter Obi. Like, I mean, I know how many insults people have insulted me. You know, people have called me all sorts of names. You know, it hasn't gotten to death threats, but, you know, people have done all sorts. I mean, we saw what happened rather in the presidential election in 2023, how people were actually warned, you know, online to say, if you come out, you know, anything you see, you take it and all of that. And I mean, these were people that were linked to a particular political candidate. So I think it's a normal thing whenever politics is at play, because tensions will rise. A lot of people are anxious and they want to have their own, candidate emerge victorious. So I don't think it's something that, you know, but the part where he said that Peter Obi refused to denounce the person, I don't know. I really don't know. It's, I think it was former governor of Lagos State, the former minister as well, Fashola, that said that, pray that your loyalty is not tested. You know, when he said that thing, I held that thing. I mean, I've held it on my left hand for a very long time. Just pray your loyalty is not tested, because at some point you really can't even tell, the lines between right and wrong becomes blurry and all of that. This is not to say that the threat to your family, your wife and your daughter, you know, is to be condoned, right? There should be a very sharp condemnation of such. But hey, I wouldn't know the relationship between Peter Obi and the said person that you talked about, but I just thought to mention that. All right, so the final story is on a very sad note. Ajimobi, the former governor, the late governor of, I think it's Oyo State, yeah, his daughter passed. Now, when I saw the story this morning, there was no particular report on the cause of her death, but the story just clearly stated that she was the eldest daughter of the late former governor. She was 40, some reports say it's 44, some reports say it's 42. She died in the United Kingdom early hours of today. Until her demise, she was actually serving under this government as a special advisor to the Minister of Budget and Planning, Atiku Bagudu, and this news was confirmed by her husband. It's just a sad story. The wife of, I saw a report where they talked about the wife of the late Ajimobi and how she's lost so many people close to her, the husband And I think her mother, now her daughter, it's just a sad situation. I pray for comfort for their family. And, sometimes when we hear stories of death and all of that, it should actually be moments for us to be able to think deeply and reflect. But I just think a lot of times death means nothing to us as a people, because if you really think deeply and you reflect, you would know that nothing in this life, you really must be conscious of what you do. Because when you're gone, when you breathe that last breath, that's it. No matter what it is that the things you pursued or whatever, everything is just, it's gone. So sad. I pray for comfort for the family. So we'll take a break now. Let's discuss this 30-day rant challenge, right? And let's see if we can, kind of air some of the challenges and then try to prefer some solutions. Stay with me.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. Now, the hashtag 30 Days Rant Challenge is a social media movement that provides a platform for Nigerians to express their frustrations, concerns, and ideas for a better Nigeria, which was started, of course, by Rita O'Shea. Over 30 days, participants share their rant, thoughts, and experiences on various issues affecting Nigeria, from governance and corruption to education and healthcare. The challenges aim to spark meaningful conversations, raise awareness, and inspire collective action for positive change. But the question remains, will the government, listen to Nigerians' cry? Will they take heed of the people's grievances and work towards creating a better future for all? Before we go into exploring some of the challenges, I would love for us to just hear a few of these rants. Then I'll come back for more rants videos for you to just watch.
Of rice right now around 8,500 naira. Something where they said 3,000 naira, 2,000 naira before. Now 8,500 naira they sell. I don't even want to talk about Gary, how expensive Gary is right now. Or should I ask person selling? How much be better Gary now?
Yellow Gary or white?
Anyone. Yellow
Gary 3,000, white 2,500.
What how much did they sell them before?
Before, yes, 1,000.
Was things like this before? No. It was not like this before. It is like every day is becoming worse.
See pepper, 1,000 naira. 1,500. Okay.
When you go to the market and buy this tomato paste for 200 naira, if you go the next day, it is 250 or 300. Even if you are earning 500,000 naira, before a month you'll be seeing like 30,000 naira in your account. You'll not be asking yourself, what did you buy? What did I spend this money on?
How much is a pint of? How much is a pint of tomato? A pint of tomato is around 7,000 naira. How much did they sell a pint of tomato before? Okay, how much is this small tuber of yam now? Where they see for yet? Tuber of yam now around 5,000 naira. How much did they sell them before? Somebody is speaking. Nobody wants to listen.
I'm just 22. I know there are a lot of young people. I'm not complaining that I'm working too much or anything, but like, I'm 22. I'm studying law. I have to juggle a lot of jobs just to make ends meet. Some people think you're getting support from like a lot of people. No, support is not coming from anywhere. Like, I'm one of the persons, you know, when they say nobody's coming to save you, I'm one of those persons. Like, nobody's coming to save you. I braid, I run a shoe business, I do ushering for events, I work for events, I'm a visual assistant, I do legal writing and research. Like, I legit do like a lot of jobs just to make ends meet. Like, anywhere you can legit find like money's here, I'm there, because not necessarily for the passion anymore, but because of the necessity to meet ends meet.
That was very painful to watch. But you see, some of the challenges that we're faced with right now, I think the major one is economic challenges, right? You see, if the rate at which things hit us as a people, imagine if we were economically empowered. There's inflation all over the world. The only difference is that some people have access, to jobs. They have access to be able to do decent jobs. And these are not jobs that just pay peanuts. These are jobs that are able to take care of at least your day-to-day needs. What kind of job do we have today when it comes to empowerment, right? Because we need to be intentional about job creation in this country. You have to implement policies that would stimulate the economy, that would create jobs, that would reduce unemployment. There was a video, it was comical, but that video was a young boy going to go and eat granite and bread in his mother's shop. And what was he talking about? He was making the statement around how even after 7 years of ASU, right? 7 years of ASU, he still managed to graduate. You graduate and you're now looking for a job. Does this make any sense? Right? So if we really look at the rant that people are ranting, it is centered around the economy. It is centered around the realities of the hardship of the economy. Government has to think about providing resources. You must fund, the institutions that are able to upskill, like raw skills, training centers for people to start thinking of how to become entrepreneurs. Look at the young girl that was talking about how she is studying law, she's braiding hair, she's making shoes, she goes for ushering jobs. It is too much. And she's only 22. If we don't focus on the vulnerable in our economy, in our society, it will be so difficult for us to grow as a nation. We need, and this is not just empowerment for empowerment's sake, because I'm tired. Establish programs that would support vulnerable people in the society, right? There are poor people, there are the elderly people, there are disabled people, there are young people, young children. Should we even move to healthcare? I took a report yesterday where a medical doctor was saying that 55,000 doctors are the current statistics of registered doctors in Nigeria for a population of 220 million. The caption said that just pray you don't fall sick in this country. Because are we talking about education and healthcare? And this thing that we talk about funding is not mouth. When you check the budget, what is allocated towards education and healthcare clearly tells you where the government is at. Until we intentionally increase funding for education and healthcare, that would ensure that people have access to quality services, it would be difficult for us to live a decent life in this country. Yes, I saw a report yesterday where the First Lady, I think the President has earmarked a set amount of money for people that are going through, suffering from tuberculosis and all of that. That's great. We saw the report the other day where they talked about kidney dialysis, how they have reduced the cost of kidney dialysis in Nigeria. Fantastic. But it's not enough. Because that is just the tip of the myriad of problems that we have within the healthcare sector and the educational sector. Would we ever get to that point where people are able to access education from primary all the way to secondary, and quality education, please let me emphasize, for free? Would we ever get there? When you go to our government hospitals or government schools, right, only very few now are beginning to come around. Because the state, even the stench, when this girl was talking about smell, she wasn't exaggerating. Have you been to public schools and public hospitals? When you go to the public schools, go to the public toilets in those schools. When you go to the government hospitals, go to the government public toilets in those buildings. We have to invest in building and maintaining our schools, our hospitals, and other critical infrastructures. Should we move to the teachers and the healthcare workers? This one that I said 55,000 doctors are the registered number of doctors to 220 million Nigerians. What about the healthcare workers? The nurses? What's it called? Those lab, what do they call them? Lab attendants and all of that. Those non-medical workers, the ones that are ad hoc staff within the, go and check. A lot of them are leaving. Your lab technicians, your radiologists, all of them, they are leaving. Why? Because there's a huge disparity even in pay. Healthcare workers need to be retooled, retrained. You have to be intentional about developing teachers in Nigeria. And of course, healthcare workers. We saw the video that went viral of our president's wife that went to Delta State in Asaba, the nursing school, and all the chanting and all of that. You see, let me tell you, I can bet you that 85% of those nurses, as soon as they are done with the training, they will move abroad after maybe like 1 or 2 years of practice. Because my aunt was a nurse. God rest her soul, she's late now. She went to the nursing school in Senderad in Kaduna. I can tell you that most of our nursing schools, in terms of training, they are one of the best you can find in the world. So when they go abroad, they thrive. And they start to earn good money. So tell me, if a nurse hears that and she's earning peanuts in Nigeria, you think she will stay? She won't stay. Another challenge that would warrant a 30-day rant would be security and justice. We must focus on police reforms, implement reforms to ensure that the police are accountable, they are effective, and they are, of course, respectful to human rights. We can't keep having police on the road every night trying to extort money from people. I see these things every day. I am just tired. It's like, when will this end? You know, when it becomes like an unending nightmare. That's what we see all the time. So when people are ranting in Nigeria, it's not because we just feel like ranting. It's because there is a strong pain point that we are going through as a people. Should we move to the judicial reform? Look at what is happening with our judiciary. Nobody trusts the system anymore. Let us not be seeing that our judiciary can be swayed. You understand? You can just do anything. And, as long as you are a big man, you have money and all of that, you can buy the judges out. We cannot afford that. We must strengthen our judiciary. We must ensure that there's timely, fair, and effective justice in Nigeria. As I am mentioning the problem, I'm also mentioning the solution. Because this is not attack on any government, because I am tired, I am really tired of hearing that all the time. For every time you come out to speak, the next thing they'll say, who is sponsoring you? That's not it. We are genuinely tired. If you are not tired as a leader, we are tired as your people. All of these challenges that we face, right, are things that are very, very glaring to the common person, or like anybody can see. I've heard some very amazing, things about other parts of the world, and I'm wondering, God, why did they give birth to me as a Nigerian? It has actually built our resilience. It has built us. It has given us strength to be able to thrive. Because Nigerians are the best people, I would say, all over the world. Anywhere you throw a Nigerian, they will thrive. They just need to be in the right place. Because we have all it takes. We have the brains. We have the strength. We have everything. We are built to succeed as Nigerians. We are built to succeed. So what is stopping us? If we even talk about security and we're talking about even justice initiatives, the community, there was a time in this country that it is the people around that will go and tell, you understand, this thing is going wrong. Why? There was community engagement. All of those things now is lost. We can't keep doing this to ourselves. So when we are highlighting that there is a problem, and people are going on social media to rant, I want the government to just take a step back. Forget about the ones that come out to insult, because I don't even condone that. You can actually state your problem without having to insult anybody. Right? But the truth is that the pain is there. And the reason the chant or the challenge would go viral like this, and a lot of people would be doing their videos unprovoked and all of that, is because it is a genuine pain point for Nigerians. I mean, as a business person, when you want to succeed as a business person, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to check what is the pain point of these people. If you're able to meet it, when the solution meets the pain point, what happens? It's automatic success. So why can't we apply that same principle in governing Nigeria? Let's go on a short break. When we come back from that break, I'd love to open the phone lines and hear your thoughts, and we'll continue on this 30-day run challenge with more videos. Stay with me.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
All right, we are still discussing the 30-day challenge, spotlighting Nigeria's pain points. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also call that WhatsApp line. You can call us on phone 07025007749 or 07014242420. You can also send and add me to WhatsApp so we can also join you via video and let us hear what you have to say. All right, so I think we should take more videos, then we'll come back to explore some more challenges that Nigerians are faced with.
It's messed up. It's messing with food. Like food, we are already suffering, and then food. You cannot afford to have a decent meal. When you think that the country is bad, yeah, when you think a particular government is terrible and worst, another government comes in and just shows up that, oh, they are just warming up, they are just getting started. Salt of 50 naira before. Salt. This salt before is 50 naira. Now it's 200 naira.
This one's 1,000 naira. She said 1,000.
I want to go to the market and I said I'm going to spend 10,000 naira because I have most of the things at home. I just want to get fresh tomato and maybe meat or fish. I got it for 2,000 naira. I'm not even craving for this fish. This is not what I want to eat though. But this is what I can afford at the moment. I bought 500 naira. Potato with a bag, 500. Sachet tomato, 200 naira. 200 naira. Something we buy 80 naira, 50 naira before. Chicken breast, this is 6,500 naira. Boneless chicken. Oh.
So you can see that, this rant, right, is just centered around basic things. Remember when I talked about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how, what is most, would I say, prevalent would be the fact that a lot of us in Nigeria, we are that lower cadre. Food, shelter, and what's that one again? Now I forget the last one, right? At that lower level, that's what a lot of people are craving for. It's not like we're trying to look for, because you see, what used to be luxury, right? What we thought was luxury, now, it's down necessity that has become luxury for us, right? Necessity that has become luxury. And these are the challenges that Nigerians are faced with, right? And for us to move on as a people, we must be intentional. So, for instance, our infrastructure and our environment, for instance, what would it take for us as a people to invest in roads, good roads, bridges, and other critical infrastructure that would help even just make life easy for people? So, for instance, we talked about transportation the other day, how we said, cost of transportation is high. For a government that is thinking, what are you supposed to do, right? How do we implement a transport system, right, that cuts off some of these excesses, that makes it easy for people to say, you know what, if I have like maybe a 10,000 naira, I can plan my transportation costs for a month. We're not able to plan because you see these people that are the commercial bus or commercial buses or whatever, they follow the inflation. So if you can sleep tonight and your transport fare is 1,000 naira and tomorrow your transport fare, you can wake up in the morning and it's 4,000 naira and there's nothing you can do, right? It's not like the income is increasing. See what was celebrated about 77,000 pay by NYC guys, them doing videos and, and all of that. But let us really critically look at 77,000 naira, right? How much can 77,000 naira, with the current realities of our economy today, how much can 77,000 naira really do? How far can it go within 1 month? How far can it go within 1 month? I would think that for most of those NYC guys, based on the fact that they work elsewhere, so there's going to be a 77,000 from the government and there's going to be another set amount. So we are hoping that maybe companies will start to match minimum wage for minimum wage. So it becomes something around 100 and what? 94 or 84, 54,000, right? 77, 77, whatever it is. 140, I think 154,000. My math is not mathing right now, but I hope I'm correct, right? So, but the goal is, if you look at the basic complaint, the borderline for this complaint for a lot of Nigerians, it is around food, shelter, and transportation costs. Nobody is talking about, oh, how they want to go on holiday or how they want to do all of those things. No, all of those things are luxury. It is the basic necessities that is needed that has become luxury right now. And that is why for any government, you must be intentional about building the right infrastructure. Look at what we're talking about, power, right? The power sector reforms. We must implement certain kinds of reform to ensure that there's reliable and affordable electricity. We're not just talking about electricity just for electricity's sake. It must be affordable. It has to be consistency. So if I am planning, let me plan around my monthly electricity bill. Not that I'm going to plan monthly electricity bill. I will plan solar. I will also plan diesel or petrol. Does it make any sense? So if I know it is, okay, this is what I'm paying for the month, that is all I'm paying. What about the environmental, protection, where we must establish certain kinds of policies that will protect Nigeria's environment and natural resources? We're not even thinking about all of those things because even all of this environmental degradation that is happening is impacting us. It's just that we are not so good at measuring, certain kinds of, putting a structure in terms of measuring the implications of some of these things that we do to ourselves. Housing is not left out. We talked about housing. I saw a video today where a young girl was saying that she was paying 80,000 naira and all of a sudden the rent is now 150,000 naira. We've talked about even my own plight. You move a rent by almost 300%. Onto what? Where would the money come from? One of the biggest challenges, again, that people are complaining about is the fact that we do not have transparency and accountability within our government structures. We don't have it. It's almost non-existent. The government seems to be like, you know what, day your day, I day my day, I'll do my thing. So until we are intentional about open government initiatives, we must implement those initiatives to increase transparency, right? Open data portals, citizen engagement platforms by the government. You shouldn't wait for civil society groups or all these NGOs to come and say they want to start to establish it for you. As a government, if you are really intentional about transparency, it will work. Fashola tried that in Lagos State when he was doing the housing project. It was so clear. Once you are a taxpayer, go on the portal, fill in your details, fill in your whatever, look for the property that you're trying to buy, and everything will be done online. You'll be contacted online, you'll get an email, and that was exactly what I did. And I did not know anybody. And it is very possible. Until we learn as a government to understand that the only way this distrust or insults from your citizens can be minimized, it is accountability and transparency. That is your only way out. You cannot use, force or trying to silence people. People will just be quiet and they'll be waiting for you. But if you truly want to have a citizen that is, intentional, and we are now collectively working towards your success, because your success is our own collective success as a government, right? So if you want a citizen that is that citizen that wants to work together with you to ensure that you succeed whilst you are in a position of authority, then you must be intentional about being transparent and accountable to that citizen. But if we don't do all of that, then you cannot also complain when insults are thrown at you as a government. Or are we talking about your anti-corruption efforts? How well is that going? Until we strengthen anti-corruption agencies and ensure they are independent and effective, they are not tools in the hands of government in power, but they are truly independent and they are effective in solving some of the corruption issues that we have in this country, we will go nowhere. We will go nowhere. And you see, citizen engagement is one of the biggest tools that any government should really be intentional about using. Because when you foster citizen participation in governance, through, of course, regular town hall meetings and engaging, and these are not town hall meetings that you select the people you want there. No. You must be intentional. Now, social media is so fantastic. It helps. We saw that play out in the 2023 elections where, Twitter Spaces were used, Instagram Lives were used, different things were used to be able to engage citizens. So why can't we continue that? Why must we always wait until it is election period to do all of that? It won't take anything for you to conduct town hall meetings. It won't take anything for you to get a platform where you're able to listen and establish a citizen feedback mechanism. Nothing stops us as a government to do that. Every day I sleep, I pray, and I wake up and I say, God, please, let today be good. Because I don't even know what to do anymore. As a business owner, it's taking a huge toll on me. I saw a rant online about some business owner owing staff salary and all of that. It's a big issue. It's a real challenge for businesses. Some of us, we are just living and surviving by the grace of God. But I can tell you, it's tough. This is that time where even the people that are supposed to be big men, everybody's crying. And you as a government, and you are just sitting down, not unbothered. We need to be intentional about empathetic leadership. Because it's not going to get easier. It's going to get worse. So as a government, if we ensure transparency and accountability, ensure that citizens understand that you have them at heart, then some of these challenges, we can collectively come together, collaborate to solve that problem. I believe we have a caller. Good evening. Oh, okay, I think we lost the call. Apologies. I don't know what we're going to do. But the real issue here is that there's hunger, real hunger. There's not just hunger, there is, that anxiety or apprehension. Because you don't even know where the next meal is coming from. You don't know if the job you have, there's job security. You don't even know, because tomorrow your company can wake up and one policy has crumbled that company. So there's hunger, there's that apprehension, there's tension. Then to couple it with all of that, you don't have a lot of hardship just to get by. And these things is not just one thing. It is coming from everywhere. Now imagine that, and you are now having to juggle all of that. Some people have newborns. When I heard the price of diaper, I told my God, thank you, that some of us had our children 19 years ago. Because the price of diaper, the price of milk, the price of, cereal for babies. We're not joking here. So when you see people ranting, they are not ranting because they feel like ranting or insulting anybody. No. They are ranting because there are real issues that Nigerians are really struggling with. And first of all is hunger. Food is the #1 problem of Nigerians. And let us stop this idea of having to give bags of rice and and think that bag of rice is solving the problem, and cartons of noodles. That's not the solution. The solution is to how do we increase our food production so that there will be excess that will be able to then bring down the prices. That is the solution. You can't be handing people fish all the time as a government. Teach us how to fish. Because when we fish, we're able to sustain ourselves, regardless of whether you are there or not. All right, we'll take another caller. Good evening. Is the person there? Good evening. You're live.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good evening.
Go ahead, please.
Hello?
You're live. I can hear you.
Hello?
Oh, sugar. I think the line is muffled. We can hear you. Okay, hello, are you there?
Hello? Yes, I'm there.
Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Sister.
Good evening.
See, I've seen the question if you are using to analyze Nigerian problems, the pain is too much. We in Abia State, we are crying. We in Abia State, if not that the governor is a man filled with human kindness, and he is now doing things that favors the masses. I'm telling you, if you look at what the president is doing, the people that are working with him, these people are out to deal with us to make sure that they give us hunger pain, so that when it is time for election, if they give us peanuts, we will now be jumping up and vote them in again. It's quite unfortunate. Like me, nobody can drive me this time. Nobody can drive me and tell me to vote for him. I'm going to vote my conscience. And this is the campaign we are doing on the ground. Because these people are not filled with human kindness. They behave as if they come from other planets. Because you cannot tell me. You came in and see petroleum pump price at 97 naira. Again, you are happy seeing it 1,000 something, 990, 920. It's quite unfortunate that such a thing, a leader, is seeing that people are suffering and he is there and feeling comfortable. The only thing I want to tell them is, let us tell them, so far they have gone, let them go no more further. And make sure Nigerians unite is on and vote out these wicked people from the pit of hell. Because they are wicked people from the pit of hell. They are not from, these people don't have any, some of them are Muslims, some of them are Christians.
Thank you, Loma. Please, let's be conscious of...
So I want to use your to tell Nigerians, please, let's be circumspect in 2027 and never vote in bad people. Thank you.
Thank you, Loma. Thank you. Let's be conscious of... Because I'm tired of fighting. Let's not insult these people, because I even see that even the insult does nothing to them. So let's just, make our points. Have a human face to leadership or governance, right? Empathetic leadership is what we were seeking for, right? We need to be very intentional about empathy in leadership. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. I think all that needs to be said has been said. I feel so sad that we are where we are. We understand that the economy, so the thing about these things is not the hardship. I've said this analogy several times. I cannot tell my child that, oh, sorry, we have to manage, there's no food and everything. And, so just take this gari and be drinking it. And my child then sees me eating a big bowl of turkey, and drinking and partying and all of that. And yet, my child is wondering. So it leaves the child at a state of confusion, So that's what is going on in Nigeria. Our leaders tell us, oh, endure, be this, be that, and all of a sudden, we are now having that issue where, there's so much distrust because we see so many funny stories online, lavish lifestyle. And we're now wondering, is this the same, are we on the same, page when it comes to the economic hardship that they say, oh, tighten our belts and all of that? That's what is going on in Nigeria. So when people are ranting, they're ranting because they're genuine concerns. You are busy spending billions on parties and all of that. Meanwhile, some people cannot even afford to eat one meal a day. I'll take another caller, then I'll wrap up the conversation. Good evening, you're live. Hello? Oh, we lost the call. Okay, apologies. So before I go, right, ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can interact with us further. You can drop a comment. More importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. I have a letter that I'm going to read out to the president today. right? But let me just sign off with a quote first, that if we decide to start calling the Nigerian government out, don't you think a lot of challenges would be made, changes rather? If we decide that we want to run a 30-day challenge where we complain about the economy, do you guys not know that people would start looking into it and they will start making changes, right? So as I said, as I wrap up the show tonight, I want to also add my voice to the 30-day rant challenge with this open letter to our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Dear Mr. President, you are the father of this nation, and we the people are your children. As our father, would you be happy or okay watching your children go to bed hungry, wake up without hope, and struggle endlessly just to survive? Would you find peace knowing that millions cannot afford a decent meal, that the cost of transportation, of course, has tripled, that businesses are collapsing under the weight of unbearable taxes, fuel prices, epileptic power supply? Mr. President, this hardship in Nigeria today is choking us. You said that we should let the poor breathe. We're not breathing. Inflation has made basic necessities a luxury. Families can no longer afford rents, school fees, or even hospital bills. The naira continues to lose its value, eroding the dreams of hard-working Nigerians. No one can save towards buying anything, because the more you save, the more the prices of that item goes up, and you're unable to do anything with that money. Youth unemployment is at an all-time high, and insecurity still grips many parts of this country. The streets are filled with frustration, yet our resilience keeps us going. We're not asking for miracles. We're not asking for favors. We're not asking for hand-me-downs. No. We're pleading for your urgent and decisive action. You need to be intentional about policies that must have, of course, a human face. The burden on the common man must be erased. If you cannot erase it, at least ease that burden. The Nigeria you fought for should not be a place where its citizens fight just to survive each day. You are supposed to be the father of a nation, and a father does not abandon his children. So please, Mr. President, hear the cries of the people that are crying on social media before it's too late. I say all of this with the hope that you would listen and give us a better tomorrow. My name is Osayiwa Mesale, and thank you so much for watching tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.